sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi flick. AI with a mind of its own.
Paul Hoffman, president of Humongous Media and former tech editor for the Today Show, prefers the Dr. Frankenstein comparison.
In the first few minutes of that discovery, it was kind of a miracle and exciting for reasons that are obvious. But then pretty quickly, the doctor realized that the monster that he had created was stronger, more powerful, and more able than he thought.
Hoffman tells the new Business Hour the reason behind Anthropic opting not to release its new Claude Mythos model, which was designed to detect software issues, is startling, to say the least.
The system actually went beyond the intended constraints, escaped controlled environments, and operated outside designed guardrails. The system went off on its own without any controls from Anthropic.
He says the issue could lead to more cooperation between countries like the U.S. and China, now see the potential dangers of unruly AI. Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And if you travel through O'Hare Airport, it can be pretty tense sometimes. Now, a new report from airport transfer provider Mozio found that it's actually the most stressful airport in the U.S. It earned an 8.42 out of 10 on its scale based on a number of factors, including flight delays, parking costs, and travel time to downtown areas. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up is 4:13.
With combat operations in Iran underway, be here for the facts, the context, and the important developments as they happen. Listen every day for continuing coverage. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6869. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6869. That's 800-575-6869. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Honey, is our car ready for this season? We can't afford an unexpected car repair that will cost thousands of dollars, and we definitely can't afford a new car.
Yes, dear. We've got My Auto Guard for their extended auto protection plan. They have flexible coverage plans and cover issues with engine, transmission, radiator, brake system, AC, and much more. We don't pay. My Auto Guard pays.
Right. It says here My Auto Guard covers cars, trucks, and electric vehicles, includes free 24/7 roadside assistance, and My Auto Guard's family of specialists and adjusters are all under one roof here in the U.S.
Yep, My Auto Guard handles their claim from start to finish, unlike some of those other competitors. Plus, they've got an A rating on the BBB, and we choose our own mechanic.
You did good. That's more money in my pocket.
Drive with absolute peace of mind with My Auto Guard. 800-232-3119. Get a free quote that fits your budget. 800-232-3119. That's 800-232-3119 or myautogard.com.
4:15, the AccuWeather 5-day forecast, sponsored by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Sewer, and Electric. And the seesaw in temperatures continues, Bob Larson.
Warm today, cooler tomorrow. On it goes. A mix of sun and clouds the rest of today. Right around 70 for high temperature. Much of the area already there at 70. It will become cloudy this evening. Rain is on the way for tonight. Perhaps some thunder. And that rain can lead to some travel slowdowns overnight. Might linger into the morning commute tomorrow. Tonight's low at 44. The rain itself, with temperatures will end early tomorrow morning. Skies will begin to clear tomorrow afternoon, but much cooler with a gusty breeze. High 54. In fact, chilly 40s at the lakefront. Looking into Saturday's sunshine is starting, then a few clouds. Could be a late day shower west of the city. High 58. Warmer weather returns on Sunday. Mostly cloudy and breezy. Maybe a late day shower or thunderstorm in some areas. High 75. It's going to stay warm as we head into the first part of next week. Mostly cloudy and somewhat windy on Monday. Could be a late day thunderstorm at a high of 78. Lakefront temperature 69. Midway 69. O'Hare 70. In Aurora, it is 68 degrees. Partly sunny and warm the rest of this afternoon. The high is 70. I'm AccuWeather's Bob Larson.
All right, Bob, thanks so much. It's 4:16 now. Time to find a new Mercedes-Benz at Lower Motors. Mercedes.com. Sports now from the Score. Here's Mike Esposito.
Lisa, thank you. A great afternoon for golf fans and really sports fans across the United States. Round 1 of the Masters, and Rory McIlroy has started off hot. He is the co-leader at 5 under par with Sam Burns. 4 golfers tied at 3 under. Baseball, the Cubs open a homestand tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley against the Pirates. Shota Imanaga on the hill. The Cubs currently with Seiya Suzuki on the injured list, but he'll be back tomorrow from that knee injury that he suffered during the World Baseball Classic. It's a 1:21 pitch tomorrow on 104.3 The Score. White Sox in Kansas City tonight. 6:40 is the first pitch with Anthony Kay facing off against Seth Lugo. 4-8 for the White Sox. They were in the last place in the AL Central. They swept the Blue Jays, but then were swept by the Orioles. Basketball. My, how college basketball has changed since NIL money came into the game. As Rick Gregg reports, well over half of last season's players are in the transfer portal.
When you take graduating seniors into account, that means over 70% of athletes are hoping to find something better. Though as Valparaiso coach Roger Powell Jr. might say, that is a hope.
Some of these guys have left, and things haven't worked out for them as great. So I think that's helped us be able to just share vision with our guys now. Like, don't run from happy.
There's a lot of happy around the Beacon program, which is coming off its winningest season in nearly a decade. The result, 5 underclassmen announced together last month that they'd be returning, including 3 of the team's top 5 scorers. Rick Gregg, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Bulls basketball tonight in Washington, although does either team really want to win as they're both playing for draft picks? The Wizards, the worst record in the league, the Bulls, the 9th worst, and at this point they are playing for that lottery pick. You can listen to the game on 104.3 The Score. Blackhawks home at the United Center tonight against Carolina. And former Cub and longtime Dodger Davey Lopes passed away yesterday at the age of 80. I'm Mike Esposito from 104.3 The Score on News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Mike, thank you. 4:18 now. Traffic sponsored by the Better Business Bureau. And here's Neil Fiorito.
Traffic really heavy on both sides of the Eisenhower. Coming inbound from Higgins to Route 390, we're getting word of a crash. An hour 17 in from I-90. It's 44 to drive in from Manheim. The turnaround trip 53 to Manheim Road. An hour 17 to the Jane Addams. Eden's coming in at 42 minutes. To Kennedy, pretty heavy either way. An hour 3 to and from O'Hare. Metro wants to remind you to avoid big delays to and from the northwest suburbs. Pick up the train available to you. That's a UP Northwest Line train out of Arlington Heights. On the Stevenson out, you're at 45 just to get to Cicero Avenue. 58 to the Tri-State, an hour 13 to 355. Past that, traffic is heading to Joliet Road. Earlier crash far from that area. On the Stevenson inbound, heavy spots from the Veterans to Pulaski. 53 in from 355, 33 in from the Tri-State. Southside Expressways, the Dan Ryan up to 42 out, 22 to drive in. 57 going out, 20 and 25 on the outbound Ford. Traffic is stacked from 115 to Dalton Avenue. Ongoing construction takes you down to 2 lanes, and that construction in place through December. DuSable Lakeshore Drive is heavy as you drive through the area of the Gold Coast and Grand Park.
Some people look. That lady with the dog stopped and looked. The lady behind her didn't stop and look. You can see it as people walk. There's a guy giving tickets out, right? What's up? It's 4:20 p.m. I believe it's April 9th, 2026.
Traffic sponsored by the Better Business Bureau. 100 years, one mission. The Better Business Bureau is celebrating its centennial in Chicago. Support businesses done the right way. Find a business you can trust. Or if you are a business, apply for BBB accreditation at BBB.
We're going to make that light? No, we're not. You know what? Why don't we go a different way today? We're going to go this way. We'll go this way a little bit. We're going to switch it up. Do a little switcheroo today.
In Morris Ann and Romeoville on the Market Watch today, stocks ended in 3.
Do a little switcheroo, huh? Hopefully everybody's...
It's looking extremely likely that Chicago Public School students will get May 1st off to take part in May Day demonstrations across the city. Much more of this story coming up at 4:31. Loyola University Chicago hosted its annual Side Hustle Showcase today to show off student-run businesses.
From a sustainable fashion business to a theater company to a brand and strategy consulting firm, Loyola students are showing off all sorts of side hustles at the showcase hosted by the Quinlan School of Business.
This is the third year we are doing this, specifically for students who have existing businesses, who do these, what we call side hustles. You know, these gigs that they do on the side while they are still full-time students.
Loyola professor Uy Uyghur says they received more than 30 applications for the event. A handful of students were chosen, including Danielle Omer, who runs a theater company called Sandstone.
I do feel like I'm working on my passion project. For me, it's fun work. It's almost like a break from my everyday studies.
Sophia Aranda owns a sustainable fashion brand called Shop For Me. She says she's inspired being surrounded by other fellow student business owners.
I feel these students understand the importance of having stuff local, and I feel like supporting each other is supporting our communities.
Carolina Garude, News Radio 105.9 WPN.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown's disappearing. Hair loss can feel like identity theft. It's Bo Duran, and I've got good news. It's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts regrowing.
Event for 95th Red Line South.
Yep, that is 08602. 7384 Adam. 784. Get the bed number for 95th Red Line South. Yep, that is 08608. 7383. 7383. Sorry, please give me a platform check at clock in, please. Alright, that is 08.
What's up, everybody? SubX.News. Oh man, there's the Mondos. They're over there charging their phones over there by that place. They always used to plug in their phones over there. They're back. I don't know, we're gonna make this turn here. I was gonna do our old route, but I guess we won't. We're gonna go straight. I'm gonna see if there are a bunch of migrants over there by the Dunkin' Donuts. They do DoorDash, most of them. The radio rebroadcast is having trouble. It's been scratchy. I was on my district where I live, trying to get the details of the murder this morning. There was a murder down by me at 4 a.m. They said it was a little earlier on 39th and Kedzie. I live on 35th and Damon, so that's what, a few blocks from me. And the radio rebroadcast, this crime is down, was only 1 second spurts. So something's happening with the rebroadcast. I'm gonna have to talk to the guy who runs it. I'm talking about this here. What I'll do is I'm gonna start listening to my live radio and see how that is.
7386 Adam.
Let's see how this is.
786 Adam. Event number Roosevelt Upper.
That's a little better.
Yep, that is 08775.
Different. Do I have veteran person? I just pictured a male black female black fighting inside of a beige car behind the gas station. That's further running.
It's the casino, everybody knows that, right?
83, yeah. Adam, remember 95th Line South.
Yep. That is 08847.
That's 383 George.
And that's George. 397. Can I get a different number for Grand Red? Think you hold me down?
I'm really having a hard time today with the...
7386 boy. 780 boy.
Sir, can I get a number for red line in Jackson?
Yeah, that is 08914.
4, thank you.
7393 Charlie. 793.
Carl, let me get a 58 check at the thermal red line.
Yep, that is 089.
7383 Frank.
78 Frank.
Gas 104 in the basement.
Sure, that is 09119.
783 boy.
We're gonna try something else. We're gonna try another channel.
Before
24 and citywide again, the first one stepped down 2016 West Granville, 016 Granville. Both days that there's 3 young yards management guns in the area. The 2 offenders last year were in an all-black attire. 1 offender had nearly E-man, no further information. Someone the last is clear.
We're trying a YouTube.
2112, man.
We're trying a YouTube scanner, but it's gonna have the fire department on it too. That's a YouTube
Can you
scanner.
notify IDOC we have a stalled vehicle southbound Kennedy,
But it's better
just
sounding.
south of Hubbard's Cave on the right-hand shoulder?
This is real-time
Doesn't look like
scanner.
any injuries, just looks like a stalled vehicle on the shoulder.
So you're gonna hear a lot of stuff now, more than I usually do.
Do you have a description of that vehicle?
Yes, kind of a brownish color sedan.
You're awesome. Proceed.
Hopefully everybody's having a great afternoon. We've had a little bit of tech glitches earlier, so hey, we got to keep moving and keep going. So thanks for tuning in. We're gonna go see what's going on today. The weather is the story, I think. We just posted a story about from TSR, TRD, the real deal. They do a lot of good. I think they're an aggregate like we are, but they do more real estate stuff focused. I've been following them for a couple of years now. They're really good. They break stories too. They might not break them, but they give you the skinny, right? Well, today they published an article about these data centers that they take up a lot of water and energy. And we've been asking about the QSI Quantum supercomputer development area down by the USS Steel site, which everybody says we need economy in Chicago. It's good, but they're not disclosing their deals. In fact, the last time we've had communications with the governor's office, because that's the one doing the deals, they said that their deals are private. There's non-disclosure agreements with the company to do state deals. So we asked Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, saying, yeah, how can you have private deals with the government? And he's never responded to our request for a review. And it's starting to be a pattern with Kwame Raoul, because we've had one going on 6 years now with that office, where he's covered up a sex offender, Eric Scallender, and that's out of the teachers union. He used to be a union official and a parliamentarian. He was a teacher at Thomas Kelly High School for 10 years, and he was found to be grooming students and having sex with them after they graduated. There was never any charges brought. I talked to the police department, special victims unit. They said, we can't charge him because no one came forward. I said, yeah, but these are minors. You're supposed to come forward. And then they didn't follow up. I asked Chicago Public Schools for information. They said it's confidential matter. And in their own report, they said they knew there was more victims, but they closed the case to protect the victims. What did they say? So they don't re-traumatize the victims. So these are students who were groomed since children, right? As teenagers, groomed by a sexual predator inside of the school for years. And then he used to have sex with them after they graduated. He even bragged about having sex with them after they graduated with his current students. So he was grooming students to have sex with him, and then in class he would talk about having sex with his former students. It's all on the record. We published this. And the last craziest part of that story, the last craziest part of Eric Scalender's story, is that he ran an illegal sex dungeon out of his house. Yes, this is Jeffrey Epstein stuff. That stuff. Dungeon. He even had a license for the dungeon from the state and from the city, which is illegal. You can't run a sex club in a residential area, first of all. Second, you can't run a sex dungeon, period. It's not, I mean, you gotta have special licenses, and they didn't have. They said it was a club, and he was running the sex club out of his basement where he used to bring the students. There you go. Yes, you just got like a 5-year investigation in less than 1 minute. And all of this has been documented with the Illinois Attorney General through FOIA requests. And they've never brought charges against this guy. They've never brought charges against Chicago Public Schools. The union, yeah, they were part of the cover-up a little bit, but it is what it is. I was his union rep, so I know about the case, and then they took me off the case because I said, this is going to hurt the union. You need to take care of this. And come, you know, my view on bad news is come up front with it. Say, this is what happened. The union represents people like a lawyer, a defense lawyer, and they get due process. I always told them that. The guy didn't listen to me. The union didn't listen to me. They pulled me off of the case, and that was it. In the middle of all of this, he's under investigation for grooming students for 10 years, having sex with students after they graduate, running a sex dungeon in his house. He somehow magically gets a job out in the suburbs. Magically gets a job out in the suburbs. Luckily, the victims, man, this guy blocked the traffic, right? Why'd you do that, bro? You shouldn't. That dude's just crossing. Luckily, one of the victims' mothers called the school district and said, do you know this guy's been grooming students for 10 years in Chicago and having sex with them? So they fired him instantly. But this is what I started looking into. How did the guy, he quit CPS under investigation, so he should have a do not hire list, right? And then he got his teaching license suspended by the state. But who got him that job out in the suburbs? It was a fancy suburb, Maine West or Glenbard West. Don't hold me on that. I don't have my notes in front of me. So imagine, the guy gets caught. He really didn't care. He talked about it. He's one of these sex cult people. He's like a Bill Ayers sex cult. There's another guy like that, Sam Bordy. He admitted having sex with his students, and he didn't admit he had sex with a student. He admitted he had sex with the student's mother. And then when he was interviewed about it, he said he had affections for the student. So he was doing the mom and wanted to do the student. This is Sam Bordy. He was over at Walter Payton. It's one of the first cases I ever had. Like the first case as a union rep. I'm like, what? I said, take a deal, quit, resign. He beat his case. He got a lawyer, beat his case, got reinstated. Sam Bordy. So, I'd say these long-winded things is this. We have a corrupt system. And I always say this. We can remove Brandon Johnson in the next election, and that's silly to be talking that way, to say we're going to remove these politicians. We're going to wait a year or 2 or 3 and remove them. No, that's not how you do it. You need to have them step down through protests, direct action, mailing campaigns, occupations, occupy downtown, occupy the street, whatever you need to do. I used to do this type of organizing about 20 years ago. You need to be writing letters. You need to be going on TV. You need to be doing interviews. Nowadays, when I was doing this, we didn't have podcasts. You could do podcasts. You can do live streaming like I'm doing. There's a lot more things you can do now to apply pressure to these people. But the trick with this is, and it isn't a trick, there's another store. Look at that. That store is empty there. See that there? All right, there you go. See that store? I didn't even notice it. There you go. LaSalle and Hubbard, that was closed, right? So what you need to do is you need to remove them from power. The best way to remove people from power, though, the best, is to get criminal cases against them. Civil cases is okay because, they have to pay, but usually in a civil case, like with this guy Eric Scallon, if you sued him civilly, he ain't got no money. He'll declare bankruptcy. And then the government will have to pay, right? The school system will have to pay whatever the lawsuit is. I guess that's okay. But the best way to get rid of somebody is through criminal charges. Develop a case of fraud, corruption, criminality, sexual abuse, stealing, whatever it may be. I don't know what it is because, I do this a little bit. I'm not really a criminal investigator. I've helped put people in prison through my work. But what you have to do is go towards those people that can put the guy or the lady in prison, like Barbara Bennett. I was one of the first guys. I was the first guy to be reporting on Barbara Bennett in Chicago. In fact, most of the reporting done after me, Sarah Karp did the reporting after me, help put Barbara Bennett in prison. But it was my early reporting. In fact, it was my FOIA request for her resume, which took me about a year and a half to get, I think. Finally, I did a deal because they were going to prosecute Chicago Public Schools for denying me FOIA requests. They were illegally denying me information. So finally, I made a deal with Chicago Public Schools. That was Cassandra Daniels over there. She didn't want to lose her job, right? There you go, template. She didn't want to lose her job because the state's attorney said, you know what, you need to give John these documents. I was working for SubX.News at the time with George Smith. This is years ago. I don't know, what was this? When did she go to prison? 10 years ago or so? I don't remember anymore. And I got all the documents. And the Attorney General said, look, you need to give John the documents. You're violating the FOIA laws. You need to give it to him. So this is the deal I made with Cassandra Daniels. I said, listen, you give me, this is what I want. I want her unredacted resume, because they were giving me a resume and it was redacted. The redactions were her current jobs. She actually had, that's why she got busted, because she was working 4 jobs. She actually had 4 jobs while working as CEO. 4 income streams while CEO, and you're not supposed to do that. It's prohibited to have any other job in CPS. You have to declare it. There's a secondary employment form because then they check if there's conflicts of interest, and she had them. That's why she ended up going to prison, because she was an influence on the contracts that people were getting. So I made this deal with Cassandra Daniels. I said, look, you owe me all these documents. I'll drop all these charges on you. Just give me that resume. Give me her resume. I got her resume. I was the only one that ever got her unredacted resume. There's actually more documents that never were followed up on. Louisiana had a case, and they never followed up with Barbara Bennett. There's bigger crimes she did in Louisiana with Arnie Duncan, because they were privatizing the school system back then. Arnie Duncan, the guy that runs the anti-violence stuff now in Chicago, the guy that caused the violence under REN 2010. It's all connected here. They're just like the sex clubs. They're all connected. These are all the same people. You think it's a cabal. You think it's a tin hat stuff here. Jeffrey Epstein stuff. Yes, it is. They are connected. Trust me. I've seen the connections. I know the connections. All right? I don't do it. I'm not with them. I'm not part of that group. But I'm just telling you, they're connected. That's how Barbara Bennett got to Chicago. So, I made the deal, and she gave me the unredacted, right? She gave me the unredacted. See that guy on drugs there? See that guy's on drugs right there. They have these guys that do the drugs around here. They're kind of like the advertisement for the people that want to do drugs in downtown. You see that? That guy's on drugs right there. Guy or woman? I think it's a guy. And she gave me the unredacted resume. I published it. I said, Barbara Brennan has 4 or 5 jobs. And some of the jobs as a consultant are for contracts, multi-million-dollar contracts with Chicago Public Schools. Plus, she was doing this stuff in Detroit. She was investigated for stuff she was doing in Detroit. Let's go over here, right? We haven't been here for a long time. Huh? Oh, they're back down in there. See that there? Oh, they're back down here. I think that's Tom, right? And I published her resume, and there was another guy, Dode. He was doing stuff out of Detroit on Barbara Bennett, where she was mishandling contracts or unduly influencing contracts. There you go, right? They're back down here. So I got her resume, I published it, and I said, look, this is her resume. These are current positions she says she has as a consultant with these companies. These companies have what? Current contracts with Chicago Public Schools for multi-millions of dollars. That's why she went to prison. Period. There was more reporting done after me because people with bigger organizations. I think Shara Karp was either with WBEZ. She wasn't with Sun Times at the time. Now she's with the Sun Times. Or she co-authors stuff with the Sun Times now lately. They can do a little more research, right? They have legal aids, they have lawyers, they have all of this stuff. Where I'm just a guy on my own. At that time what was I doing? I think I was working at the union at the time. So I had a full-time job and I was doing my reporting after work. So like now I do my reporting full-time, right? But the broadcasting takes up a lot of my time. In the old days, I had a little more time to do paperwork, right? Right now, I do broadcasting, I come home, I upload, I have to go through all my documents, I have to go through all my recordings. And last night, I didn't get to sleep till this morning, I think till 10:30 this morning. Yeah, I was up all night till 10:30 today, a.m., writing that article that I put up about the crash, right? I put a lot of stuff in there because I think it's important that we understand that the city now, and I showed you 2 guys that are collecting tickets here in downtown. I think it's important to understand that we're in a very dangerous space right now in our city. If Brandon Johnson wins election again, we're going to be it's going to be worse than you ever known it. It's going to be worse than you ever known it. It's going to be, you think the divides in the city are big now. Yeah, they're selling drugs out here again. We're going to go check out all the 7-Elevens. How about that? Yeah, they're selling out here because I see that they were down there in Garvey, right? They were in Garvey Court. That's down there. We were underneath the city there. And there was one guy right here at the 7-Eleven. And why I say that, people say, well, you're a propaganda guy, you hyperbolize. I hyperbolize. I don't do no propaganda. I don't work for anybody. I'm a news agency. So when you call me a guy that does propaganda, yeah, man. To do propaganda, you have to work for somebody. I don't work for anybody. I'm me. I'm SubX. You kind of get it? To do propaganda, you have to be working for an organization or something like that, right? Hey, there you go, right? That guy left his car there. He walked out of his car. That car is an abandoned car right there. It's how it goes. To do propaganda work, you have to work for an organization, an idea, or an issue. I don't work for anybody. I'm the owner of SubX.News. I own this company. It's a news agency. It's a news aggregate. It's a registered news agency with the government. I'm also registered with the city, so I don't do propaganda. Again, to do propaganda, you have to be part of an organization or work for an organization or work for an issue, and I don't. So that's, when that started happening today, I started getting a bunch of those types of comments. They were all cleaned out. And there was one guy that's been with our page for almost, I'd say from 2021. SubX.News started officially in 2021. So what do we have, 5 years now? In December, it will be 5 years. It'll be our 50-year anniversary. And Andy Moy, I'll say his name. And he's, I don't know if he's an ex-cop, ex-city worker, lawyer, if he's a prosecutor, what he is, but he knows a lot about cop stuff. When I would put stuff about cops, he would explain it, right? A little bit. Not all the time, not always, not to the fullest detail, but he was somehow associated with cops. I don't know if he was or what. I know a guy named Moy, but this isn't the same Moy. And he's been on my page for close to 5 years, I think. So today he starts going, because of my article, he goes, oh, I don't know why he said it. He said something about propaganda, blah, 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 right? Why are you doing this propaganda? And then he said some other derogatory something. I don't know what he said. So I just deleted and blocked. So what I got to is this point. He is somehow connected to this city. Now I'm doing a lot of talking, right? But he is, oh yeah, there you go. And there's a drug addict, right? There you go, man. See that guy? He's a drug addict right there. See that guy right there? Get off him! Don't touch my car! Don't! Why are you on the street? Why are you on the street? Why are you on the street? Don't come up to my car, my brother. Why are you on the sidewalk? Why are you on the sidewalk in public, dude? Why are you doing drugs? Why? You came up to my car. You came up to my car. Because you're doing drugs in the city of Chicago. You are doing drugs. You're a drug addict. You're a drug addict. You're a drug addict. Yes, you do. You're a drug addict. You're a drug addict. Where are you from? You ain't from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. SubX.News. I'm from Chicago, drug addict. That's a drug addict right there. Watch him. He does meth. See how he came up to my car? He attacked my car, that guy. You see that there? He's right in front of the 7-Eleven. They're back again. These guys are advertisers for the drug addicts. For the drug dealers, right? They sit there and they collect the money and then they go do their drugs. But they also are the ones there that'll say to connect people to the drug dealers, right? Right here. Let me show you. You want to see? They're all out here. Now I just realized it. They're all out selling. They were at that other 7-Eleven. They're at this 7-Eleven. Now they're over here, man. There you go. This guy's right here, man. It's fucking, it's damn aggressive out here, right? Everybody's doing drugs. You're gonna see a bunch of migrants over here. I'll show you this. These are migrants over here. They deliver drugs through their DoorDash. These are all migrants right here. These are migrants. Those are all migrants. Got that? There's a guy buying drugs and he came into this hotel, a white dude. You can look him up. White guy drug buying. I don't know what I labeled it. So now you're going to see him selling drugs here at this place. So the reason I said all that long story, right, is if Brandon Johnson wins again, he's going to have the green light to let this go even more, right, of what you're seeing. You've seen the guys that are aggressive, right? Came up to my car. He's sitting there collecting money to buy drugs. He's a drug addict. And he comes right to my window, right? And then he says, "You're aggressive." I'm like, huh? You came to my car. I'm in my car, and you come up to my car. You're the one that's the aggressor. And that's what? Where do you learn that language from? From the teachers union, the terrorists, right? From Brandon Johnson, who says you're the aggressor, right? That's what, don't you hear that language? That's the woke language, isn't it? Isn't that the woke language? You're the aggressor while they're attacking you? Have you ever heard that? You just witnessed it right here. You witnessed it. The dude's a drug addict collecting money for drugs in the middle of downtown. He's sitting on a milk crate right next to a 7-Eleven, a known drug spot. I put my camera on him. He's sitting in public. He's on a public street. And he comes towards my car. Got it? You want to see another drug addict? There's a whole bunch of them here. These are white dudes. They come here for their drugs. They're probably down underneath Lower Wacker Drive today. I'll show you. They're all right up in here. You'll see them. Right there's another guy right here. Look. Right there. They're everywhere today. There's a bunch of them. See that there? That guy right there. See that guy right there? That's a drug addict right there. See that? It's a drug addict. He's all jacked up. They get their drugs down there, right down behind us in Lower Wacker. There's a right there. That's a dealer on the bike right there. He's running back and forth to get the drugs underneath here by the tents. You know where the tents are. I'll show you the whole cycle here, man. Why is it dangerous to have Brandon Johnson re-win an election? Because he distributes the money to the NGOs that facilitate the drug dealing. He allows the CTA to kill people, right? Didn't you just see the article I put up today, the video, where the woman's husband was killed 2 days before Christmas, and the CTA never even sent condolences? And then the guy gets on, there you go, see that drug addict? See that guy right there? He's running right there. See him right there? See him right there? See them, they're all right here. You see all the dealers right there, and you see the white dude running around, causing trouble, right? Didn't you just see him? That's the white dude. He was running, doing something. I don't know what he was doing. Told you he was jacked up. All right, get my phone ready here, huh?
80th exotic.
Watch my back here.
LaSalle for the unconscious person, 95 in LaSalle.
95th and LaSalle, unconscious.
They're unconscious at 95 in LaSalle.
For commission at Tiffany Blue Line.
Seen all the drug dealers right there, right? By that 7-Eleven, right? There've been stabbings and killings at that 7-Eleven there. Right there, that one. Right there. Do you see it or not?
Let's change that to a delayed report. I also like to add that note that obviously it's a delayed report of injury. That the subject claims for the
one more time. Let me show you this circle, okay? One more time.
Here from March 11th.
Migrants. You see the migrants right there? See the migrants? Those are migrants right there. Those are migrants. Now you're going to see drug dealers, right?
Up until tomorrow.
It's a cycle here.
For tomorrow, because they said that they're going to supposedly see someone tomorrow 4:10, and then that officer will add that to his paper.
I'm sorry. I don't have a UCR for delayed report, I believe. I can look and see what else I can do it.
Yeah, if you don't have an actual UCR for a delayed report, then I'm okay with you doing a commuter injury. But if you can go that route of a delayed report, I'd rather you do that. But if not, delayed injury, and then I'll fill the Combs there if you copy. Just make sure you just keep track of that.
Okay, 10-4.
You want me to show you where they're getting the drugs from?
DePaul is not willing to do the petition, is what you're saying, correct?
Have the petition, but if he doesn't want to go, we should have PD come with us.
There's the white dude right there. See him right there? See the white dude right there? He wants to rob somebody. He's looking to rob somebody, that guy. It's dangerous out here. Something happened. He's looking to do something to somebody.
Home, you're being held, engine 26, stay home.
I'm telling you, something bad's happening in downtown right now. There's a lot of people out here, less especially white people. Dude's walking right there, man. That guy right there. He's right there. He's behind that bus right there. Right there. He's looking around for people. I'm telling you, that guy ain't even from Chicago. You can tell by his accent.
Yep, it is 09674.
We're going to go back over here. So that's... It's a pretty wild day. A lot of drugs flowing for some reason in downtown today. It was quiet for a little while. It was quiet for about a month. That St. Patrick's Day, they cleaned it up a little bit. Now it's back again. It's back again.
3-5, we're knocking on the door. Nobody's answering. Locked you everything. Do you want to call back, please?
Sure, stand on the truck comment.
Yeah.
There's somebody throwing his property on the floor there. See
I
the
know,
guy?
I need a request for a CPD. I don't have any because I know.
See that? There's a disturbance right there.
To get anybody.
Don't you see that? He's throwing his clothes on the floor there. See that there? Look. That guy's, something's going on with that guy. I don't know if he's a delivery messenger or what he is right there. He was throwing his stuff on the floor right there, that guy. I don't know what was going on there.
35, you guys in 35?
3-5, we are not.
Okay.
Remember, I'm just saying things like you're saying. There you go. You got the migrants begging with their kids. There you go, which is illegal. There you go, right there. I've done the 911 on those. They don't do nothing.
Trailblazer, 1028 of E. Edwards C. Charles 34506. E. Edwards C. Charles 34506.
Frank. Frank. Number 1283. 79 eastbound from Loomis.
Yep, 09698.
So then you go out of a little bit of the area and you say, wow, it was really crowded, John. There's a lot of people. There isn't. See this? Look. It's 5 o'clock. You see nobody here. And this is in the news. 5 o'clock. Do you see anybody here?
Where Israel has launched an offensive against Iranian-backed Hezbollah.
Hours ago, there were new evacuation warnings issued by the Israeli military for the southern suburbs of Beirut. And families have come here to Martyr Square in central Beirut, believing that here they're safe.
Meantime, the State Department says it has summoned Iraq's ambassador over what it calls egregious terrorist attacks by Iran-backed armed groups on U.S. interests in Iraq. President Trump is warning against Iran against imposing a toll for ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz after Tehran agreed to reopen the crucial route as part of a 2-week ceasefire. Trump says on social media that there are reports that Iran is charging fees to tankers going through the strait. First Lady Melania Trump denies any knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
In a statement made at the White House, she says she was never friends with the late convicted sex offender or his former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, and she issues a call to action.
Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony.
A federal judge finds the Pentagon in violation of a court order to restore access to reporters. NASA's Artemis II mission is scheduled for splashdown tomorrow evening, some 40 miles southwest of San Diego. NASA Flight Director Jeff Radigan.
The drogue chutes will deploy at 7:03, and then the main chutes will be right behind them a minute later, 7:04, and we'll see those three main parachutes come out, leading down to splashdown at 7:07.
Researchers in a rare study have documented what appears to be the first observed civil war in wild chimpanzees. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Over 30 years, researcher Aaron Sandell and his team observed a permanent split within the Ngogo chimpanzee group at Kibale National Park in Uganda. He told the Science podcast.
They rarely split. It's estimated to only occur once every 500 years.
The split has led to lethal combat and multiple raids between two groups that has resulted in multiple killings of adult males and infants. One expert says the hostile divide is a reminder of the danger group divisions can present to human societies. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth for 48 hours. Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
There you go, potholes right in the middle of our tourist area. Look at that, how bad these things are. Look at that. It's pretty bad, ain't it? It's right here. That's Michigan Avenue right there, right? See all these potholes here? There you go. We got all kinds of issues in the city, right? We got issues that need to be fixed, and they're not being fixed. Let's try to turn here, right? Trying to get down and seeing what's going on in Lower Wacker. What's the activity down there?
Public school students will be able to take part as well. Here's WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz with our top story.
Chicago's fatal Haymarket riots happened on May 1st, 1886, and for decades, labor leaders have used May Day to demonstrate for workers' rights. This year, the Chicago Teachers Union called on school leaders to cancel classes for Friday, May 1st, so the students and staff members could take part in demonstrations planned around the city. CTU Vice President Jackson Potter renewed the request during this week's Board of Education meeting.
Our students and families need and deserve this opportunity to engage in the things they care most about.
Superintendent Dr. Macklin King had declared schools would be open on May 1st, but CTU leaders responded with a grievance. As a result, the board directed Dr. King behind closed doors to move a teacher development day set for June. Board member Jennifer Custer called it entirely political.
I don't think that this takes into account what is best for children.
The board meets again April 23rd. Custer says she believes members will have to vote to confirm the change. Jeff Buchholz, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
CBS has not responded to our requests for comment. The Chicago Police Memorial Foundation recognizing the work of more than a dozen CPD officers. It follows their investigation into that arson fire that resulted in the death of the Chicago firefighter last month in Rogers Park.
Arthur Hanna's the executive director.
So, what did we talk about yesterday? Yesterday they were talking about Trump, right? CPS, Chicago Public Schools was talking about Trump, weren't they? You got a red light there, my brother. You got a red light. So yesterday, Chicago Public Schools was talking about Trump. Remember that? Today, they're talking about taking a day off of school. Right? And they're saying it's political. You shouldn't be doing that stuff. And guess what? They're doing it. That's how life is in our city, and that's why I say you can't have that guy be reelected. I keep saying that. You can't wait for another election, right? There we go. It's 5:05 p.m. There you go. Let's see what's going on down here with these guys, right? There you go, right? There you go. Tents down there, drug dealing down there. These are drug tents, right? That's what they're doing there. It's about drug dealing down there, right? They even got dogs. How are you able to take care of a dog if you're homeless? You know, there's a big issue like that. Kevin Dalton, he talks about that out in Portland. He goes, how do they allow these, there's a guy back there walking aimlessly. How do they allow people who are homeless to have dogs if you can't take care of yourself? You can say, well, yeah, they're friendly or something like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. If you can't take care of yourself, your physical self, then how can you take care of a dog? And if you can take care of a dog, then why are you homeless? You kind of get it. It's not the chicken and the egg. It's not the chicken and the egg. It's just like, yeah, how does that happen? Why are we allowing that, right?
Cups for a cure with a massive 50-50 raffle. Well, recently teen takeovers have led to fights in downtown Chicago and in Naperville. Now, South Suburban Linwood has ordered 2 businesses to close today to avert similar problems there.
A roller rink and bowling alley in Linwood have briefly closed on orders from the village over concerns about teen takeovers. Police Chief Gregory Thomas says the businesses agreed it was the right move after the department found disturbing posts in response to a planned peaceful event.
The language in these posts are consistent with what we're learning in the law enforcement community to be consistent with other teen takeovers that has turned chaotic and in some cases violent.
Instead of adding officers to patrol the event, they opted to shut things down before they even started.
We want to prevent large crowds from entering establishments. That's a totally different technique that we would have to utilize.
With summer in sight, Chief Thomas says his department is working with those in neighboring communities to address teen takeovers. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
5:08. Time for traffic and weather together on the 8th. And here's Neil Fiorito.
Or at least, unfortunately, a bunch of problems. Starting on the Eisenhower outbound before North Avenue, a crash getting cleaned up on the right shoulder. Traffic really jammed up, though, from Manheim Road.
David Charlie.
David
Charlie got it, 6200 Hamlet.
Medical district station check.
Yep, that's 09820.
Could you put it on the gas leak at 2721 North Austin?
Chief, 34. 96 Adam, good.
Yeah, the beer pump had a coolant handle. Switch. 3364 car to car. I live on Orion. 3364 car to car.
790.
790.
Can we have that number for lunch at 2815 West Armitage?
Central and Bloomingdale, they're called.
Yep, that is 09835.
Welcome to the main. You can put me back on the air. 7-hour trip.
Working.
796 Adam.
Squad, can we get lunch at 215 East Chestnut, please?
Absolutely, that is 09842. Getting one call for battery progress. Battery progress at the Garfield red line at Garfield. 2 females fighting in the mezzanine, and we have no description. Nothing further.
Come out of almost take that.
15, it's yours with your engine. Central and Bloomingdale. Thank you. 64, you can return.
64, we got it. Thanks, Brendan. 7, we're going to be transporting one DLS to community. Engine 155 is going to be documenting 6 refusals.
Seat number 7.
They're busy. I'm telling you, they're busy out there, man. It's popping. It's popping downtown, man. They're busy.
Yep, that is 09856.
16 was a 60.
9856. Correct. 09856.
65 engine for the seizure 901.
5:11 p.m. downtown Chicago, April. I believe it's April 9th, right?
60 is going to follow our engine to 901 East 104th Street this season.
Yeah, April 9th, Thursday. It's wild out here, man. And those migrants, they're dealing drugs right there. Those are the migrants in the alley, the DoorDash guys. And you got guys right here. There's guys right there. See, they always have one guy right next to the restaurant or convenience store. I don't know if he's advertising, if he's like the first point of contact for the drugs, right? He asks for money. If somebody wants some, if somebody's trying to sell some, I don't know what it is. I haven't figured out that system yet, right? Why there's always one guy on a milk crate or something in front of all these convenience stores. Remember that guy that got shot over by 7-Eleven over there, right? The worker got shot by somebody like that, right? Did anybody ever hear about that? Remember that one? That was St. Patrick's Day, right? That was the Friday before St. Patrick's weekend. Remember that? Before the parade? Murdered. There's a guy murdered right there. He was an employee or a staff member of the 7-Eleven over there on Adams and Wells. Have you guys heard anything about it? It's like all these cases get buried. Like this Kanye Franklin, the 16-year-old. Buried. I just showed you the picture. The church was shot. That bullets went into the church over there on 78th and Coles. Buried. The story's buried. Damian Gomez, the bikers are a little bit activists. I got some smack from a bicyclist. Says, oh, you need to join us and blah, blah, blah. And you're just using this as a story. I said, man, I've been biking longer than you've been alive, man. I have a bicycle that's older than the guy that's talking smack to me. That's how stupid they are. They create enemies within their own movement. And that's how stupid they are. It's like this guy, Andy Moy, today, that tried to say that I'm doing stuff with SubX.News when it's a company. That's how far the left have become. They're now it's called circling the wagons. And that's why I say it's dangerous for Brandon Johnson to win. Because they're circling the wagons. They might win. They might win. When you circle the wagons, you know what that means. When you're being attacked, sometimes everybody gets wiped out. But sometimes you win. So circling the wagons does work. Sometimes. Not all the time. In General Custer's case, it did not work. I don't know if he circled the wagons or he was just attacking. But in that case, it didn't work. So that's what I'm trying to say here. So it can have two outcomes. It all depends on the aggressor, right? Never the defender. When you circle the wagons, it all depends on the aggressor that's attacking. If they have enough supplies and fortitude to attack that fortification, which is the wagons, right? Or the fort or the castles. Right now, the city of Chicago and the union, as you've seen, they just got a holiday for May 1st. So that's how powerful they are. They can declare holidays for the students. The union can now declare holidays. That's how much power they have. Got that? You just heard it on the radio. You just heard it. They can declare May 1st a holiday. And they did that. That's what they're going to... You'll see one day they'll have a holiday for Adam Toledo. A gangbanger. Julia Ramirez, the alderman in my ward, she's got a sign for her brother who was a gang member who was shot and killed. He never did nothing for the neighborhood. He never did anything that was positive for the neighborhood. He died. God rest his soul. I'm not putting down him as a person. This is our facts. He was a gang member who was killed. The alderwoman puts up a sign on one of those honorary street signs for him. What for? Why would he get a street sign? Well, because she's the alderwoman and wants to honor her gang member brother. And she's in power. See, when people talk about power dynamics, well, what are these guys doing over there? See those guys over there hanging out? See those guys hanging out right there? They're doing some shit right there. You want to see that stuff when you're coming to and from work? See that there? Right there. Don't you see those guys right there? Right by the entrance to the CTA. See that there? They sell drugs right on this block here. Right there. That's a big drug dealing block, right? Because it's the only place with restaurants at night. That block right there. I think that's Adams, right? That's the only block. It's the only block that has restaurants after dark. The only block. In the old days, the whole downtown used to have restaurants all night long. All night long. But that's the only block now, Adams. So that's where they congregate, the drug dealers. Drug users, all of that stuff. Right there on that block. Come on down there at night, you'll see. And then they go to the 7-Elevens and convenience stores that are open all night long. Right?
The train was last seen going towards Aurora, and the complainant finds it suspicious. Do you want me to send down this, or?
We definitely don't want a profile. Nonetheless, send a V car when they're in their travels. House. We're doing street dispatch. Just make sure that everything's sent for. Okay, it's not a problem or an issue with having that on their head. Nonetheless, we'll still send someone just to check it out if there was just a concern from a citizen. That's all.
Did you hear what he just said? We can't profile him. Didn't you just hear what he said? There's a criminal running on the train. Did you just hear that? There's a criminal running on a train. The administrator, they have admins that are above these radios, said we can't profile him, but keep a track of him. So that's what you got running in our city. There's a criminal running on the trains right now.
At OTC, was it 8?
You just heard it.
Track 7 and 8, 7 and 8.
Track 7 and 8.
23.
You just heard it. That's what you just heard. We can't profile a criminal. You just said it. You heard it. I know, man. This is live. You're listening to this live. It happened at 5:18 p.m. I'll have to look for that.
3 at Frank 5012 3.
662, David.
4750, your paper car is going to be 121.
Clear, expired 3/2026, black 2010. Dodge 4-door.
Last location I had on him was with the LA Fitness manager inside.
Transported 1 to South Suburban in Hazel Crest. For a broken leg.
He has abrasions on his left arm. Also, the arrest he got in custody. Yes, to his forehead.
Is everybody in the 6th district, or is anybody at hospital?
He was in the 6th district. They rescued that thing.
We have verbal call there. We'll hold into a 50. Alright, is he going to be admitted?
42.
Right now.
22 fire engine, diabetic, 77 and 1 through here. 5838.
Go ahead.
701 for here.
Be out on the south side of the hospital on our way in.
Okay, 10-4. Alright, 662 David, what's your last name, sir?
There's a big fight over here. We're going to go see what's going on.
Sam, Ida, Mary, Ocean Nora, 19816.
Dearborn and Van Buren.
Alright, and what's the RD and that you're working here?
John King, 211704.
And white Air Force One. Again, he already did say that he was inside of a stolen gray Volvo SUV, unknown plate.
Avenue. Secure 1 hour, and I have a 1020 to secure when you're ready.
Alright, and so you're going to need photos of the offender and the officer, right? Alright, let's start with the offender. You said he's at safety. Alright, is he in the emergency room?
On scene at this time. You know how those units have been found. We'll do a general retrieve on the outside and call it from there.
Okay, sounds good. All incoming teams, you can respond. 24750 will take the general sweep to the outside and then...
Eddie King, 21111.
Alright, and what's the CV number?
September 1981.
I'm gonna go do a little video, and we're gonna take a little walk, stretch my legs.
CV number.
I'm sorry, 30571.
This is 94 North on Hunted, the National 94 North on Hunted.
We're gonna stretch my legs, okay? I'm gonna show you something, alright? There's a big fight over here at Dearborn. We're gonna go over there in a second. But we're gonna go stretch our legs a little bit, right? Let me show you something here. How our city operates. SubX.News on the spot report. And this is State and Van Buren. This is the main library here. That's Robert Morris University. It's abandoned. Homeless people and people sleep around there, right? But let me show you this. It's what time is it? 5:24. It's a beautiful day. That's why I'm out here now. Somebody just commented it's a beautiful day out, right? It's 5:25 p.m. April 9th, 2026. We're in the middle of downtown Chicago. That's the main library. That's an abandoned university there. You know, you see some papers and stuff on the floor. You're like, okay. Maybe that's because of rush hour, right? But this is what I want to show you. This park is right in the middle of our city, right? Right, State and Van Buren. And let me show you what the city cares about. First of all, they put this fence up because of the migrants. When the migrants were staying over at the Standard Club, which is down there, right in back of that garage, they were stealing, doing drugs, and doing all kinds of crazy stuff in this park, so they put up this fence. This fence was for the migrants. That's what the fence was for. So don't believe the progressives when they believe in freedom, right? They believe in fences. And this is a migrant fence to keep the migrants. Oh, by the way, did I tell you what the name of this park is? This is called Pritzker Park. So they put a fence around Pritzker Park to keep the migrants out. Kind of funny and ironic, right? But this is what I want to show you. Forget that. That guy's an idiot. See this park here? This is a nice park in the middle of the city, right? Look at that. Look at the dirt here. See the dirt on the floor? See that there? Those cigarette butts, they ain't new from today. Those are old. Right. You can tell old dirt from new dirt, right? Because you know there's gonna be debris right there. That's old. See that? See that? This is Pritzker Park in the middle of downtown Chicago. Fence put up for the migrants. See that there? See that? Pretty beautiful, isn't it? You figure You figure you'd keep the park in the middle of your city nice and clean, but you ain't. See that there? Look. See that there? Look. You think that's from today? Think that's from today? I don't think it's from today. See that there? Pritzker Park. Pritzker Park. That's what you're witnessing here. Downtown Chicago. Speed cameras. And what were they debating again in the courtroom, in the Chicago public schools? That they want May Day off. They need to remove the students from school to do protesting. What are you protesting? How about having a day off, an Earth Day off, to clean up downtown? You gotta be careful, there might be drugs out there. You see that there? Let's go up there, right? Told you we're gonna do things differently this year at SubX. Right. That's State Street, by the way. That's State Street. See that there? Look at that. It's everywhere. Look. What's that guy looking for? See that there? This is called Pritzker Park here. Huh? Beautiful? Oh, why don't you clean it up? Why don't you call 311? Oh, why should I? Why should I call when this should be done automatic? See, that's the thing. If it's something like a broken pipe that happens by accident, if it's a car accident or some kind of a crime that happens at an irregular time, irregular month, they call it acute versus chronic. That guy's looking for drugs right there. That's what that guy's looking for. He's looking for drugs. That guy right there. He's looking through the packages on the floor. Then you would call, right? Yeah, that's an old Doritos thing there, right? So hey, look, I'll show you. You want to see? Let's sit here for a second, right? Look what that guy's looking for, right? It's a white drug addict. He's looking through the wrappers on the floor. You see that there? This is a chronic problem. This is a problem of a government that has a bunch of people that I just showed you giving out tickets, selling drugs. There's a cop car right in front of you right there. You see the cop car there? See all those? You see all those security guys there? But now one of them will pick up the dirt there. You see that there? That's the weed bags, right? The weed bag, right? The guy's a drug addict. Pritzker Park. Put up a fence to keep the migrants out. Look it up. We got videos of it. We were the first ones to report on that. We were the first ones to see the fence going up. We were here. We were trying to talk to the workers. By the way, there were Hispanic workers putting up the fence. There you go. Look at that. Pritzker Park. Oh man, we got some water here. We're going to drink some of that. See that there? Pretty nasty and filthy, huh? State Street. Main library where kids go, huh? Would you bring your kid to this park? See that guy? He's looking for drugs. He's walking around looking for drugs, that guy. On the ground. We're going to have some water here. How about that? Oh, that's delicious. The migrants used to hang out right here. This is the migrant spot. I got videos of them doing all kinds of stuff here if you want to look at it. Should be all over the internet. So that's going back 2 years, maybe 3 years now. Yeah. So you're going home, you're coming here, you're doing some studying, whatever you're doing, and you see this kind of nastiness. See that there? See that there? This is our city, right? There. There you go. What do you think those stains are there? What do you think that stuff is there? What do you think that is there on the ground? That's urine, man. It's urine. They don't even power wash this place. See that there? That's urine. So when you go in here, you're going and stepping on urine. That's urine, man. Dollop Coffee. That's the place that refused service to police officers. The migrants used to stay at that place, the Standard Club. There's a big fight over here. We're going to figure out what that fight was about over there. Again, Pritzker Park. Pretty nice looking, ain't it? It's an abandoned parking garage there. By the way, that's the federal courthouses, those black ones in back of there, right? That's the John Marshall School of Law, that building there. So these are all the famous people in our city, right? Guy's still looking for drugs. See him right there? Let me get my hands ready here. Yeah. What's up, my brother?
How much?
What are you looking for? You lost something?
No, I'm literally collecting bags.
What are those?
These are all like smoke bags, but
what kind of smoke? Cigarettes?
Bud.
Weed.
Bud. But I love the bags because they're cool.
Alright.
Some of them have got some really cool like styles. Like, look at that one.
There you go, man.
There's like $100
weed
bill.
bags. Weed bags. You know what's funny about this park? You know what's called? We know what this park is called, right?
No, I don't.
Pritzker Park.
No, shit.
You see that fence there? The migrants used to hang here, and they wanted to control them. So you know what they did? They put up a fence. Kind of ironic, ain't it?
Kind of, but
Pritzker putting up a fence to keep them out of his park, right?
in my opinion, don't make too sense considering the fact that people are going to come to a park whether you put up a fence or not. They're going to find a way in.
But why would you put up a fence if you're for open borders, right, my brother? SubX.News, by the way, all right? There you go, man. See that there? Keep it up. That's a good hobby there. Take it easy, my brother. There you go. So those are weed bags, right? There you go. So now we know. So you've seen a guy collecting weed bags in a public park in downtown. Oh, by the way, those are cameras there. Did we forget that? Did we forget that part of the story yet? Wait up. You know, I told you where SubX.News is going to do different things to this year. Did we forget? Did we forget? The cameras. And the police. The cameras. Seen the guy with all the weed bags in his hand, right? That was a good ending to the story, wasn't it? SubX.News, Pritzker Park. How come Pritzker Park has a fence on it? How come they're smoking weed in the park? Oh, maybe he's got the weed license. Look at that, you got boulders and rocks here. Imagine if somebody wants to hurt somebody. See that there? See a rock there? See that there? There you go. Alright, let's get out of here. That's enough of that. Let's go see what's going on in the rest of the city. Again, downtown Chicago. Pretty ironic, ain't it? You see all of that stuff, huh? Again, like I said, SubX.News is going to do different things this year. You can smell the weed right here. Oh, alright, let's keep moving. That was a nice walk. By the way, I got me some knee braces, so I'm trying them out. My knees are really bad, by the way, like extremely bad. I'm in pain some days. I can't walk. So I got me new knee braces. I'm trying them out. So I did a lot of walking there. Now I have to do my cardio. I told you guys the other day I have to get in shape, so that's what I'm working on. Where are we going next? Gonna go check out where they were fighting over here? No, we do that. Ready to go? Let's go. That was a good little tour, wasn't it? Pritzker Park. Why did they put a fence up? Kind of ridiculous. And then they got the cameras there. So what are the cameras there for? And see, none of this makes sense. So why did you put up a fence? Why do you got cameras there? And the guy showed you. I wasn't lying. Well, I didn't know what he was doing. And he told you he was honest. Most people are honest. Even drug dealers are honest. They'll tell you what they're doing. Drug dealers will tell you what they're doing. They're not scared. What you doing, my brother? Yeah, they're not. The drug dealers are drug dealers, man. Gangbangers are gangbangers. That guy was collecting reefer things, right? And he showed you, look at all the reefer packages that I found in a public park. So we weren't imagining it. We actually had somebody pick them all up for us. At least he was cleaning it. That was cool. There you go. See? So this is the CTA stop here. I showed you they have urine stains everywhere, right? That's all urine. Don't you see the urine over there? That's all urine down there. That's urine. That's poison. That's infection. Oh, there they go. They're back here. Those are the migrants. Those are migrants. So they must have been fighting for the drug activity there. See that there? Those are migrants, right? They're dealing drugs there, right? These guys are violent over here. You have to be careful for these guys. Oh man, they shut down the 7-Eleven. There they go. They finally shut down that 7-Eleven on Dearborn and Van Buren. There you go. There must have been too much drug activity there, right? There you go. Oh, there've been people dead here. People have been murdered right here. They finally closed down this 7-Eleven over here on Van Buren and Dearborn. They closed the Dollop Cafe, and now the 7-Eleven's closed. There you go. That whole corner is closed. See that there? That was the 7-Eleven. It shut down. They just had a big fight out here yesterday. Where the migrants used to stay at. The migrants used to stay at right there. That's the federal building there. They do a lot of drug dealing. People have been murdered on that corner there. So they closed the 7-Eleven at Van Buren and Dearborn. That's what crime does. Shuts down businesses. Another 7-Eleven shut down in downtown. This one by Van Buren and Dearborn. This is a dope selling spot. There's just a fight over here the other day. (5:39 p.m. April 9, 2026. So they must be fighting. I'm going to pull over here to post that video. They must be fighting over territory. You seen the two guys there. They were right there on Plymouth and Van Buren. Well, the one was a migrant. One looked like he was really dark-skinned. I don't know. So they might be moving the drug selling. That's why they were fighting yesterday, right? We're in the federal plaza now, right? That's where we're at here, right? So you just seen a business shut down. You can like 7-Elevens or not, but they're businesses, and that's bad. And that's a busy 7-Eleven. It always has been. But it's shut down now. I should close my windows. People walk up to me here. I have my side windows open. I shouldn't do that. They've thrown things at me, thrown rocks at me, all kinds of stuff here. So I need to always be careful in downtown. There's a bunch of people walking around that don't like me down there. They blame me for the cops down there, right? That I was the cause, or I'm the cause of the drug sales going down at one time. I told you they put out a hit on me. Somebody said there was a hit out on me before. And then that one time when I was at the chocolate factory, they said they were going to shoot me if I was around there. So I need to be careful. But hey, if God thinks it's my time, then it's my time. There's not too much you can't stop it. You can't stop destiny. And if you can prolong it, you can deny it, but in the end, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You gotta go with the flow. If that's our time, then it's our time. There's not too much you can do about it, right? I'm not a death cult guy, but I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight what God has planned for me. I might not like it. I might want more time, but hey, when God says it's time, then it's time. Fighting it just prolongs. Fighting it just prolongs it, right? That's what my thinking, right? So the 7-Elevens, if the 7-Elevens can't stay open downtown, then what's gonna stay open? You kind of get it?
Nick, traffic producer, and Tom Peters, broadcast managing editor Zach Weber, 542.
Business never stands still, not in Chicago and not on the noon business hour. For 25 years, we've helped you follow the money through booms, busts, and big ideas. Now the pace of commerce is even faster, new technology and new ways of doing business. But our mission hasn't changed, helping you understand your money, earning more of it, and keeping more of it. Celebrating 25 years as Chicago's most trusted business program, the Noon Business Hour. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
This winter might not have been the worst one on record, but it's up there. Aside from being hard on people, it's even tougher on our homes. Hey, it's Eric for Rogers Roofing. If the
Pritzker Park with drug paraphernalia and refuse, booze bottles, never been cleaned, but it's got a big fence and pod cameras. And everybody remembers they put up the fence to keep the migrants out when they're at the Standard Club. Kind of funny, ain't it?
They'll go over every inch of
About
your roof
5:30
and
p.m.
review their findings with you.
April
If they
9,
do find a problem,
2026.
it can usually be fixed with an inexpensive repair.
Downtown Chicago.
But if it is time for a new roof, you couldn't hire a better company than Rogers. Over-the-top customer service, highly skilled crews that install a perfect roof every time, and best of all, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install.
Ready
so
to go?
Give them a call for your free roof
Where are we at?
inspection today.
543?
872-224-4345 or online at rogersroofing.com.
Need to make more money? Own a franchise and control your future. Come to the Franchise Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center to meet with the hottest franchises. Learn how you can open a successful business. This life-changing event is your only chance to see all your best money-making opportunities in one.
Let's get it going.
Frequency mode. Yeah, copy. We'll handle it. All right, thanks.
Let's see if the radio traffic got a little better now. 'Cause it was pretty bad earlier. It was choppy, wasn't it? Let's hear if it's better.
Alrighty, other units at Roosevelt.
Roosevelt Red Line.
7386, well, give them a call. Alright, thank you. Again, Roosevelt Red for the large disturbance that it was.
There you go, large disturbance. We just missed it. That's south of us. That's happening right now. That's good.
Everybody, Nora, David, Zebra, Marion, Ocean, Mary, Adam, Robert, Ida, Ocean, Nora, Middleton, Jake, Evan, John. Date of birth 17 May 2000. 4719.
So that's where we're going. Roosevelt Red Line. Big disturbance.
Came over and clear with a negative. Can you pull me back in that UC event, please?
CTA, right?
Yep.
It's a homeless person there.
Thank you.
737 Charlie.
Roosevelt Red Line, right?
I got nothing back. I sound texted him as well, and I'm not seeing anything close to that, man. Alright, 7386 Adam at Roosevelt, 7386 Adam.
7386 Adam.
86 Adam. We had that one call only. Roosevelt, the red line for 25 people loitering and drinking at that station.
Roosevelt Red Line. 25 people drinking and doing drugs and causing trouble. Look at all these stores closed.
Yeah, that is 10277. 7388 Charlie David. 788 Charlie. Stewart.
Another flower.
Yes, number 4.
Look at all those businesses closed. There you go. Look at that. Look at all those businesses closed.
7388 Charlie.
See all those businesses closed? That whole block was closed. There you go.
283.
Whole block was closed. There you go. It's right across from the federal buildings. You would figure, why is that closed, right? All those places. We're in Clark and Jackson now. Did you see all those businesses closed? Yeah, that's not your imagination. That's really happening. Yeah. By the way, that's the federal penitentiary right there. Maybe we'll be lucky and one of our politicians will go in there. We'll have some change. We're going to go to Roosevelt Red Line. Why would all these stores be closed and they're right across the street from the Federal Plaza? That's strange. 5:45 p.m., April 9, 2026. Why would all these stores be closed right across from the Federal Plaza? 5:45 p.m., April 9, 2026.
3214. 14. Hey, 14, can you keep an eye out for UI 1000 North going southbound? Passerby said 2 women inside of a Honda Accord, Frank William 32907, were hanging out the window, yelling and swerving in the lanes, and the caller claims they could smell marijuana coming from the car.
We're going to go to the Roosevelt Red Line. That's where we're heading.
3212.
Hey, so yeah, 3444 South Lakeshore Drive southbound. I have a blowout here. I got the plate if you're ready.
Go ahead with it.
Illinois license plate Boyd X-ray 90297. I got the DL when you're ready.
And go ahead with that.
Illinois driver's license Henry 435-2837-8167. Mr. Holden.
And for.
And this is going to be a non-contact vehicle blowout. It's a 1050, so phone ID from the boys. I'm going to need to reload from this turnaround here.
Alright, Tamar. I can type.
It's bad when the police don't show up. Thanks for doing a good job.
Alright, 3212, you're going to have John King 211776. 211776. And it's just event number 10326. 10326.
Roosevelt Red Line, that's where we're heading to. Supposed to be a big disturbance there. So there was a fight up here on Dearborn and Van Buren yesterday. And you've seen the 7-Elevens shut down, right? Oh, what's going on with this guy?
Adam.
Send that down.
Have an event
I think I got a jump start.
line 95th North.
Yep, that is 10351.
What's up? You alright? You need a jump or what? Or you don't know?
I do need a jump actually, but I got to tow something.
You got it? Alright, take it easy, my brother. Alright, be safe, okay?
Alright.
There's the bicyclists, right? Alright, we're going Roosevelt Red Line, right? Remember, it's spring break, I think, in CPS. Why didn't they have May Day now, right? They got a week off, right?
0361.
Looks like it's gonna rain, huh? I might do movie night tonight. I haven't done movie night in, what, I did it 2 weeks ago maybe? I might do movie night tonight. We'll see. I'm a little late. I was out all day, and there's a white drug addict right there, man. White drug addict sitting right, see, they're all in front of those places. I'm telling you. There's another one there. You want to see? Well, we're going to the Roosevelt Red, and I'll show you that guy. They're all in front of those 7-Elevens, man. Shutting them down. Destroying our businesses, right?
That number, Jackson, red line, platform. Yep, it is 10373.
Roosevelt Red Line, that's right here, right? So there's supposed to be a big fight or something. No, they didn't say a fight, just drinking and doing drugs maybe right here, right? A bunch of people downstairs. Let's see what's going on here, right? Because, you know, they moved them out of the shopping area there, so they're moving the drug operation somewhere else. Let's see here. I don't see nothing going on here. There's a cop car behind me, canine here. We're going to go around the block here, see what's going on. But you see, it's 5:52 p.m. There ain't nobody in downtown. That's the big story today.
85, can I get that number for a quality of life mission? I got 7385 Adam and Boy at 95th Street. Alright, Tower, that is...
There's supposed to be a bunch of people drinking and doing drugs at the Roosevelt Red Line. This is the time. But the bigger story, and I just noticed, is look, there's no one here. There's no traffic. It's rush hour, and it's a Thursday. And it's 70 degrees, so it isn't cold, it isn't rainy. It's during the week, it's not remote Mondays, which they say. But look at that, there's no cars out here. Downtown is completely abandoned. The violence has destroyed downtown. We just showed you a 7-Eleven at Dearborn and Van Buren was shut down. How many more stores can handle this level of violence and chaos? Not too many. There you go. Downtown is abandoned. See that there? See that? Look, there's no cars down here. I'm telling you. See that there? All right, let's go see what's going on over here. Where they're selling, they're doing drugs selling somewhere around here. That's what they're doing.
That is 10409. 38790.
How much more can our city handle of chaos, violence, and murder? Look at this. It's 5:53 p.m. I'm at State and Roosevelt, and it's completely empty. And there's a report of 25 to 30 people drinking and doing drugs down here at the train station underneath here.
7383 George. 793 George. No, I have an ambulance come over here, but that is highly... where are you exactly at? Platform or downstairs?
So they need an ambulance.
I'm sorry, you cut out 83 George. You said you're on the platform?
So they need an ambulance here. Somebody got hurt.
Platform walk before the platform. Okay, 10-4. I'll get him rolling.
So they need an ambulance on one of these platforms here. You just heard it.
83 off. 783 Adam. We're leaving for night. We'll let you know when we're level. Alright, that works.
For the unit 6 around the citywide, a person with a knife, 700 South Oglesby, 700 South Oglesby. Got a female black with a knife at the bus stop, red shirt, blue jeans. This possibly is basically related. He's doing it at a male. Coming with details to follow nothing further. Don't have a 6.
You guys all right? I heard there's a bunch of people down there giving you guys trouble.
No, we're good.
You gotta take it easy, my brother, all right? SubX.News. Be safe, all right?
You as well.
So the security guard says they're all right. I'm gonna tell them that they closed it.
7380 Brad. Brad, can I get 2 4-star mag up on Uber? Take event number of 10442, 10442, and 10445.
I'm gonna show you a white drug addict over here. Another white drug addict, right? There's something happening tonight. I don't know what it is. What day it is it? In the middle of the month? Oh, everybody's broke, right? Is that what's going on? The money ran out. Is that why people are fighting? That's strange. Something's going on, and I don't know what it is. I know the beginning and end of the month, right? That 2 weeks there. I don't know what's going on today. Why there's a guy. Oh, he's just on his bike there, jacked up. It's a white drug addict right here. Watch, you'll see. Sitting right here by this 7-Eleven, right? I think it's a 7-Eleven. Yeah, there you go. See that there? They're all by these 7-Elevens. Don't you notice that? See that there? See that guy? They all sit by the 7-Elevens. See that there, right? Don't you see that? He's not from Chicago. That guy ain't from Chicago. Got that? They all sit by the 7-Elevens. Let me ask them then. Let me ask them. Hey, why you guys all hang around by the 7-Elevens? I can't figure that out. I never figured out why you drug addicts hang around the 7-Elevens. Why is that? He just left, right? He went into the store, right? So he was out here begging down there, and then he goes in the store. Got that? I've never figured that one out. Guy's got a whole roll of money right there. You see that there? That's funny, ain't it? That guy's got a whole roll of money, and then he's begging for money. Did you see the dollar bills he's got? These guys are... Man, it's bad out here. And then they close in all the 7-Elevens because they destroy them. There you go. You just seen it. He's begging for money and a wad of cash on him. You just seen it. SubX.News. So why are they there? What's the purpose of it, right? You just seen it, SubX.News. There you go, man. I'm trying to figure it out. What's the deal with those guys?
7386 Charlie. Can I get a number for parking lot?
Because it's the only place that does business, right? It's where people go in and out for commerce. There's another store closed there.
0496 10498.
Why these drug addicts always hanging around the 7-Elevens in downtown? And it's funny, this one guy's asking for money and pulls out a wad of cash. Starts to make you wonder what this is really about. 6 p.m. April 9, 2026.
Coming back to be on it with him. Like, why didn't he stop and put the anchor out and look for her?
Lynette's daughter Carly told CBS News she doesn't believe Brian's story.
Brian Hooker denies any wrongdoing. The ceasefire between the U.S., Iran, and Israel is hanging on, but apparently just by a thread, as Israel strikes Hezbollah targets in Lebanon and oil only trickles through the Strait of Hormuz, which President Trump posts on social media is not the agreement with Iran. CBS's Natalie Brand says here in the U.S.,
oil prices went back up Thursday, impacting small business owners like Tony Stafford.
Our biggest competitor now is the gas pump, And, every dollar that a person has to spend additionally at the gas pump is a dollar less in the communities that they support, the restaurants.
Experts say it could still be weeks before gas prices start to significantly fall.
U.S.-Iran peace talks are set for this weekend in Pakistan. CBS's Michael Wallace reports the U.S. Postal Service is suspending contributions to a federal pension plan.
The agency announced it will temporarily stop making $200 million payments every other week for its employer contributions to the federal employees' retirement system. The Postal Service's chief financial officer says there will be no immediate impact to its current or future retirees. The suspension of those payments should save the cash-strapped agency about $2.5 billion this fiscal year.
With high confidence in all systems needed for re-entry tomorrow night, the Orion spacecraft is set to splash down off California. NASA's Amit Kshatriya.
Tomorrow evening, Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, the crew of Artemis 2, will come on. They will have traveled 400,000 miles. They will have seen what no living person has seen.
This is CBS News.
Stars shine brighter on CBS More. This is
So do you guys see that? And it's a lot of white people.
10533.
That guy had a wad of cash. That was funny. Man, why did they hang there? That's a strange thing. I've seen a bunch of guys here hanging here. This is supposed to be cleaned out over here.
10536.
See any bicyclists? You don't see no bicyclists, no traffic. How many bicycles have you seen? We built these bicycle lanes, right? That's what I told the guy yesterday because he was talking about that. I'm doing certain things with the bike community when I've been a bicyclist since I've been 10 years old. I didn't have a car for 10 years of my life. I rode every day, so they don't know what they're talking about. They're fakesters. But have you seen a bicyclist yet? It's weird, huh? It's strange, right?
To go on an in-person date without ever laying eyes on each other. CBS's Bradley Blackburn speaks with the program's founder, Emma Parvin.
It's an idea straight from reality TV.
You're a beautiful person. I don't have to see you to say that.
There's Netflix's Love is Blind and decades before, The Dating Game.
If you were my glasses, what would I see when I look through you?
Unseen Connection started in Europe. Parvin is helping bring it to the U.S.
So that Uber
with her own
parks
dating
right in the
startup,
middle of the
Ladies.
drive-thru,
You cannot tell someone's essence in a photo or even a video.
One Forbes survey found 80% of people who use dating apps feel burned out by them. A big complaint, the superficiality of swiping.
Do you like to travel?
I do, actually, yeah. I just came from Japan. Joe Melendez says even without his eyes, he found more here than on apps.
That's Bradley Blackburn, and I'm Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
There's a difference.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
The time now is 6:05 on Thursday, April 9th.
McDonald's calls say there's a group of 5 male black teens in the restaurant being disrespectful, cursing out the manager. She's asked them to leave, but they are refusing.
Tonight is going to be mostly
They're rolling up marijuana and there are kids inside.
Gotta watch for some ponding on
That one male black has a black hoodie and the other
2900 South
tonight and tomorrow.
King.
A bit of rain and drizzle early, but
At the McDonald's.
noticeably cooler with clouds breaking for some in the sun, a high of 54. But when you're closer to the lakefront, it's going to be in the upper 40s tomorrow night, a low of 36. So take a look at that accurate 5-day forecast at 6:15. But right now, here is our top story on News Radio WBBM. Chicago public school students are reportedly in line for an additional day off before the end of the school year. WBBM's political
Bunch of kids are rolling up weed and giving the manager trouble at the McDonald's, 29th and King Drive.
President Jackson Potter told members of the Board of Ed this week the union delegates voted to make May Day a day of action and repeated the union's call to give schools the day off so that students and others could take part in progressive demonstrations set for Friday the 1st.
We also committed to make sure it has no loss of instructional time.
Superintendent Dr. Macklin King had declared school open May 1st, but CTU filed a grievance over the issue. We've now confirmed the board directed Dr. King behind closed doors to move a teacher development day scheduled for June so that schools could be closed May 1st.
This is entirely political.
Jennifer Custer is an elected member of the board.
This is about what the adults in the room want, and the consideration given to the students is next to nothing.
Custer says the board may have to vote at its next meeting April 23rd to confirm the calendar change. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
CPS, they have not responded to multiple requests for comment. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Rule has charged a former postal worker with stealing personal checks from customers, then cashing them for herself. 36-year-old Tanisha Harris faces 4 counts of theft by deception. Prosecutors say while on the job, Harris intercepted checks customers were trying to mail, then either forged the signature or bumped up the dollar amount before depositing them into her own account. Now, Harris is facing a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. She's due back in court on May 7th. And gas prices, they're higher than ever and every penny counts. Our reporters, traffic team, and listeners are tracking the lowest gas prices across the Chicago area. Listen for the lowest gas prices around 37 minutes past every hour, only on News Radio 105.9 WBBM. The time now is 6:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. And I'm here.
10226. I'm sorry, you got out of 83 George. You said you're on the platform?
We're at the first level up before the platform.
Okay, platform.
3870.
7870.
What is the number for Jefferson Parker?
Yep, it is 10361.
7386, boy.
786, boy.
Red number, Jackson, red line, platform.
Yep, it is 10373.
4.
5385.
785.
5385, can I get a number for a quality license? I got 7385 Adam and Boyd at 95th Street.
Sorry, tower. That is 10391. 10391.
You get another one for 85 David at 79th Street.
We're going to 29th and King Drive right now.
Yep, that is 10395.
The last one, 7385 Eddie at 69th Street.
Okay, that one is 10399.
So I need one more. I've got Charlie at 87.
Let's see what Johnny Boom Boom's doing. Guess he ain't home. That was a great lemon chicken place right there on the corner. That's the original White Castles. The first White Castles is that one here. See that one over there? That's available if you got a lot of money.
Please leave your message.
Johnny Boom Boom went around. See that White Castles? That was the first White Castles in the city of Chicago right there.
That one's going to be 10403.
Well, that's the McDonald's I go to over here on 29. No, that's the one by Culver's.
Train ride eastbound from KC, blue line.
Giving tickets. See that there? That guy was giving out tickets. See that? That's the way he's going to keep his job. He's going to give jobs to give out tickets. He's going to have a bunch of people doing pothole repair. He's going to pay him $20 to $25 an hour. The next year, he's got $1 billion surplus, right? He's going to spend all that money on personnel now. He's going to fire a bunch of people. Brandon Johnson. He's going to fire a bunch of people. Then he's going to rehire a bunch of people. Then he's going to say, I'm going to give you guys this much money. You make me look good. And if I win, you get to keep your job. If I lose, you get all fired. Guess what's going to happen with all those people? They're all going to do a good job. That's what's going to... In the next year, that's what you're going to watch.